Now, you can be losing money and still be winning as a trader. Now, that might sound ridiculous. After all, if your account is going down, how could that possibly be successful? It's because most traders believe there are only two stages in trading: unprofitable and profitable. And that's the biggest lie struggling traders believe. And most struggling or unprofitable traders view the game of trading all wrong. And if they were just to reframe this game, they instantly would feel better about themselves and, as a byproduct, likely begin to see better results in their trading. Now, for years, I measured my trading process by the simple question: am I profitable yet? Which makes sense, right? It's the goal. And every time the answer was no, it felt like a failure. But a number of months back, I had an epiphany. Nothing in life is black and white. So there had to be more to this than red or green. You see, I'd realized I was measuring the wrong thing. I wasn't green yet, but I also wasn't the same trader who started this game years ago. My losses were smaller, my discipline was better, my execution was cleaner, my process was improving. You see, I was progressing even though I hadn't reached the ultimate goal of paying my bills with trading. Similarly, let's say there is a person who weighs 300 pounds and wants to lose weight. And after 6 months, maybe they've lost 100 pounds. Would anyone say that they had not made progress? Of course not. And no one would be using the fitness influencer as a benchmark to judge this person either. So why is it then in trading that a trader can improve discipline, cut losses in half, and still think that nothing has changed, that they're never going to make it? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you might be judging your progress by the wrong thing, and how to take trading from being a binary red and green idea to a 5-stage progression that can instantly show you how you are closer to your goal of profitability than you think, just like the person who lost 100 pounds but isn't at their goal yet. So let's dive in. All right, so to start, most traders think that profitability is the mountaintop they're trying to get to, and that they stand at the bottom, at base camp, looking up at the top, and that it feels impossible. What isn't realized is that profitability isn't just a single leap from the bottom to the top, right? Instead, it's a set of stairs that you climb to get up to the top, and every level matters. Now, this realization is a game changer because most traders, they just spend the entire journey staring at the 5th step, and the gap to the top seems impossibly far away, causing frustration and maybe even paralysis. But the trader who reaches the top isn't the one that's obsessed with level 5. It's the trader who focuses on taking the next step. This is no different than when you use Google Maps. Think about it. When you map yourself from, say, Denver to Austin, Texas, you're not sitting there obsessing over all the stops along the way, all the turns along the way, what you're going to do when you get to Oklahoma, if that's even how you get to Texas. Instead, you're just following Google Maps and doing what it tells you. It tells you to get on the highway and take a right, so you do that. And you follow along and you wait for your next set of instructions. This is similar. So what you hopefully realize is in these steps between being a profitable or unprofitable trader, once you use them as a roadmap, they become very powerful in reframing how far you actually have come or how close you actually may be. All right, so starting here with level 1, losing a lot, AKA the money burner. And at this stage, you're not really trading. You're paying tuition to get your feet wet, and everyone starts here. The thing is that with the nature of trading being making money, and you kind of learn initially, oh, here's a chart, here's a position tool, and you use like a demo account to enter a position and make money and lose money, people forget that before you can actually make money consistently, you actually have to learn a whole bunch about trading. So for someone here in this level, the characteristics would be like random entries, strategy hopping, over trading, emotional decisions, large losses, and those kind of things. So the goal here in this level, once you recognize it, it's just to accept this, just like you go to school and get an education, and work yourself towards the next step. And real quick, if this is resonating with you, I would appreciate a like on the video, it'd be amazing. And also subscribe if you want to get more of this kind of content in your feed. It would really help a small channel like mine out. All right, next is level 2, losing a little, AKA the controlled loser. And as we're moving up in the levels here, you're still losing, but there's an important distinction here. And the distinction is that you're not constantly losing. You're not yet winning more than you're losing, but you're losing less than you were when you previously started. You're no longer bleeding out and you're kind of starting to stabilize. Maybe you've got a strategy that you've stuck to, an asset that you're liking, and you just kind of do the same thing over and over, trying to figure it out. And so the characteristics here would be following rules more often, your risk management's improving, your losses are getting smaller, and you're actually starting to see a little bit of consistency. So the goal here is, if you journal and track this stage, you're actually able to see improvement despite still being red, realizing that this is progress. And in theory, for me at least, that really drastically reduced my stress. For whatever reason, for me, it clicked in my brain a lot when I was able to see the progress. It no longer felt like I can't figure this out. It's like, I'm figuring this out. Let's keep going. And real quick, where are you at in your trading? I'm curious if either of these have nailed it for you. Comment below and let me know. All right, next is level 3, breaking even, AKA the most underrated trader. And I want to spend a little bit of time here because I think that this is one of the most important levels. And I think it's something that doesn't get talked about enough in the trading space. And it does not get acknowledged enough in the trading space as a significant milestone in your trading journey. Most traders think that break even means failure. You're putting all of this time and energy into the charts. Maybe you're still studying a little bit, but nonetheless, you're trading real time, maybe every day. And it's taking a lot out of you, but you're not getting anything out of it. But the reality here is that being a break-even trader is proof that you can survive. Now, the challenge here isn't making money. It's making enough money consistently. Now, the key thing I want to point out here is time. And that's true with any of these levels. You can't trade for a week or 2 or 3 and put yourself in any one of these levels. And this is a really important distinction here. You need 2 to 3 months of consistent data to even judge this. And that means you're trading the same asset with the same setup in the same session, and you're journaling it every day. Nothing else different. You need a large sample size to even place yourself on any of these levels. Now, the characteristic here is over several months, you see red and green, but your accounts are stable or so at break even over time. Your emotions are mostly in control, and you feel relatively comfortable in the charts and reading price. Additionally, your process is becoming repeatable. You've proven you can manage risk, you can execute semi-consistently, and you can avoid major mistakes. You simply haven't optimized enough yet, or had enough time and reps in real-time charts. So the goal here, realize that being a break-even trader is often much closer to profitability than you think if you can keep going forward. All right, level 4, making a little, AKA emerging profitability. Now, the trader here is no longer wondering if profitability is possible. Over time, they're on average green and growing accounts, even if slowly. And this is, in my opinion, where everything starts to change. Trading goes from some mythical outcome to realizing that it might actually be possible for you. And the characteristics here are small and repeated green months, where red months are controlled and minimal. Consistency is solid most of the time. You're focusing more on the process than the profits probably, and your confidence is growing. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, the goal here at this stage, the challenge isn't making money. You've got that figured out. It's making enough money consistently and not rushing or pushing too hard to make the real big money and screw yourself up. All right, lastly is level 5, making a lot, AKA professional consistency and profitability. Now, this is, of course, the end goal for all traders. And after ascending through the levels of the previous 4 stages in trading, this is where we end up, right? The characteristics are large profitable months that dominate your P&L, emotionally stable, trading is boring. Now, the key distinction here between level 4 and level 5 isn't finding a better strategy or changing anything. It's becoming a finely tuned operator, an expert with 10,000 reps at your strategy, your model, and your method. So the reason most struggling traders are miserable is because they wake up every day asking, am I profitable yet? And the answer is usually no. So then every day feels like a failure. The reframe is, what level trader am I becoming? You don't wake up one morning and become profitable. You wake up one morning and realize that you've been becoming profitable for months. The problem is most traders quit before they've recognized the progress that they've already made. So figure out what level you're at and stop comparing yourself to being at level 5. Focus on reaching the next level because profitable traders aren't created in a single breakthrough. They're built one level at a time, and it's a progression.